I want to direct everybody's attention to the Wi-Fi Interactive, where I am looking at the stock performance of semiconductors over the trailing 5 days. This would be the performance this week. Nvidia up 4%. You can see Intel down at the bottom up over 9%. Now taking a little bit of a backseat today, but we want to talk about the developments this week in semiconductors with Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley. And Dan, we had an important investor day for Nvidia earlier this week, talking about some of their next-gen technology. The stock was actually down that day, I think, in response to some of the comments regarding how much they're going to have to spend on CapEx and development over AI. But we also saw them hatchet out a deal with Intel. It's going to take some period of time to actually come to fruition, but kind of a big first step there.
Yeah, this comes on the heels of their GTC, basically their conference for graphics technology. And really what we saw out of NVIDIA and from CEO Jensen Huang, who we spoke to earlier this week, is a slew of big announcements related to both its AI capabilities. This wasn't about gaming or gaming graphics. This is all about the acceleration around artificial intelligence and graphics computing. But they also debuted their first discrete central processing unit, or CPU. It's basically two chips put together, and that's going to allow them to dive further into the data center space. So they're really pushing full force into that area, and going for things like high performance computing, accelerated capabilities along those lines. And I think that speaks to where NVIDIA sees itself going. Now, just to give you an idea, the data center doesn't make up the bulk of its money yet. It's still being edged out ever so slightly by the gaming side of things, but that gap is narrowing very quickly. And they also talked about some of their vehicle technologies that they're going to be rolling out. They said that they have an $11 billion pipeline of projects coming with different automakers, including Lucid Motors. And then on the Intel side of things, we saw Pat Gelsinger, CEO of Intel, in front of Congress this week, along with Micron CEO, and they were discussing the CHIPS Act, which is trying to get Congress to, the companies are trying to get Congress to pass to push more money towards R&D for the chip industry and return the U.S. to the, preeminence that it once held among chip makers in as far as other nations go. So that helped to give a boost to them, especially after the seeming bipartisan support for the bill. It just now has to get through the rest of Congress. And if that does pass, then we could see big advancements coming from those companies in the future. And then obviously Pat Gelsinger, he's been really the face of this administration of the chip industry in the U.S. And as you said, we saw NVIDIA, Jensen Huang again, saying that he would be interested in pairing up with Intel to use them as a foundry here in the U.S. They already use Samsung and TSMC. Whether or not they're able to do that, though, depends on Intel and their ability to tool up and get their factories ready for NVIDIA's specific needs.
Yeah, Intel is still kind of a show-me story, but a very big step in the right direction for Gelsinger there. Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley, thanks for stopping by.